So we're judging portrait personality. We've already started, and we're coming into our second edit. So that is not where I wanted to be. Sorry about that.
I think it's a little person in the yellow dress.
Yeah, the one with the really long caption.
I'm trying to figure out where that is.
It's up a little.
Oh, right here.
Second
Sorry.
row.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, if you're watching this and you're entering, don't make your caption this long.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say out, and not because the caption's that long.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that either.
Okay.
Okay.
Also
Out.
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 It's tough without a face, isn't it?
Doable.
I'd kind of go out, but I'd go out.
I would too.
I think for me, it's especially with the caption not having any names.
Yeah.
Out.
Out.
Yeah.
Out.
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 Out. Out.
Out.
Out.
Out.
Out.
Can we fight an out?
Yeah.
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 I'd play that one.
I love this photo.
Okay.
I'd
Stays in. Good job. Yeah, no problem.
Out.
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 Out. Out.
Out.
Out.
Out.
Out.
This one's out.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Out.
Out. Out.
Out.
Out. Out.
Out.
I want to try to keep this one in. We're back at the beginning.
We're back at the beginning.
Okay. Let me refresh.
Well, I like the last one.
You guys have done really well because we're down to 13.
Wow, we cut
We
that
gotta-
much? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Can I bring
we gotta-
back in the Port-au-Prince butcher?
let's
Yeah, I
see.
kind of love that.
That one's definitely better than some of the ones we have right now.
I never saw one of those we just showed.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Wait, what?
one.
Oh, that, I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I had edited that
Oh.
earlier.
Oh my
Sorry
God.
about that.
That's okay. We can go out anyway.
Okay.
Can't even see it.
Unless
So
I
now
didn't.
we're gonna hide non-placing. That's why you're seeing them. So, okay, now we have 14. Yeah, it's looking a little tighter. Is there a clear? Does anything jump out at anybody? Is there a favorite? Is there something we need to bump right away, or do you want to just keep outing?
it feels like the one, the grayscale one of the man with his dog. I don't know. It feels like more just like of like a classic storytelling moment and less of a portrait.
Yeah.
Like it's a lovely picture, but it doesn't feel like it's in the right category to me.
I think for
Yeah.
me, this picture, for the same reason you just said that, stands out to be what joy he has in life and gives me an instance into who he is as far as his actual personality and what matters. And I think sometimes those feature moments rise above as portraits of the person that we're seeing and allowing us to see them in non-posed moments as well.
Also, here's the only thing we got here is a picture that captures an aspect of the subject's character. That's it. So, it's pretty broad.
So what bothers me about the one we're just talking about is that it's in black and white.
Okay.
It's another story about
Homeless.
this is a homeless person
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
black and white.
Yep.
I'm just really tired of seeing that. Not gonna lie.
Okay. Well, do we have 2 outs for this one?
I think you got at least two.
I think it's as strong as some of the others, but I'd be happy for it to go out. I do think it's a nice moment, and it is sort of a nice solid portrait. The black and white doesn't bother me quite as much, but I hear what you're saying. So I would probably be fine with it going out.
Is that 2?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're back to these.
I'm finding the one of the woman, the healthcare worker, it feels a little overproduced and dramatic, and to me,
Mhm.
I think I would rather see her in her natural environment than it to be taken into almost a commercial portrait. I don't know what everybody else thinks.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the lens choice too kind of bothers me. It feels like I'm very up in her face, which maybe that was the intent, but
Do you
I'll
want
just
to
leave it
out
at
that one?
I could go out on that with
I do.
everything else that we have left.
So is that 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All
I'm
right.
sorry, my dogs are barking, but the photo of the person with their face covered, I don't get really anything about. I see that they have to have their face covered, but like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really feeling much from this photo itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd agree.
There's
Okay.
doesn't be much connection.
Mhm.
I could probably, I could go out.
Okay, you guys are
Just
whacking away here.
to speak of connection and just what we're seeing that's left, a couple of photos that rise up for me would be the third photo on the top row of the hospital scene, as well as the portrait of the couple in the window.
Mhm.
Just to throw some ideas out there. To,
Um,
I mean, I also got like an automatic sense of joy from, I think that's a funeral singer. Top right.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I also really enjoyed this one just automatically.
It feels like it's a really good like example of juxtaposition with something that's like very obviously a graveyard, something inherently morose, and there's so much color, there's singing, there's so much expression, and in the ways that you don't necessarily get in a graveyard always.
I
I
also
really
think
like this.
and I think it does, like, at least to me, I feel like I'm getting a lot of a sense, like at least a part of her really feels like it's coming through.
Well, I think if you read the caption as well, it really is storytelling as well. I think it's using a portrait and a moment that is also really telling you the story of what she does. So I do like that as well.
So what do you want to do with it?
Keep it in for right now.
Oh, fine.
That's just me. Everybody.
Mhm.
I also have to say that the second image on the bottom row, especially paired with its caption, I think
Yeah, it's
touched
powerful.
me.
Yep.
It's a very powerful image, to say the least, for what so many of us have gone through, in this gentleman particularly. So that stuck out to me.
I think everything in that frame,
Yeah.
it really tells a story. Like every single, you could look all around that and get deep into it for a long time, but then bring yourself back to his face.
Which says everything.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just one of those things where like all of that depth really adds stuff, and there's
Mhm.
depth in other images, but it's not used, I think, as artfully as that one was. That feels like one of the winning ones in my head.
I would agree.
I'm
Are
not
you
really
guys wanting to
feeling-
put something in as a 1 or 2 or 3?
I think you can just put, at least for me, at least my mind, the way it organized, you could put those two on the top row.
I can't move them, unfortunately.
Oh, well,
gotcha.
fine then.
Yeah, sorry about that. I wish I could.
I will also say one of the ones that I fought to keep in, and I'm sorry if my dogs start barking again, is the the second row, the center one, the person with the
This
gun.
one?
This feels like an image you don't really see a lot of, just the way the tenderness and the strength and the intensity of the gun there. This is just a different, we see a lot of gun portraits in America, but I think this is a very unique one that doesn't, lean on sensationalism. Just my thoughts.
I really like the point of that picture because it's different. The part that's bugging me is the lighting. I'm not sure if that's intentional, but I keep on wanting to see either more light on them, or I don't know. It's just, there's something about that lighting that just doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah, that's true. The lighting is a little bit distracting.
The lighting and the processing, and also I think there could be somehow creatively more separation from the background. Either, I totally agree with what you're saying as far as the moment and the storytelling, but it's just almost like it wasn't executed.
Yeah, and for me, the background is more sharp than her feet, and so my eyes keep like twitching, trying to figure out where what should be in focus and
I'm a technical geek. This is actually shot on 4x5.
Right.
And so the front standard is tilted forward, the top is tilted forward, and that's why the feet are out and why the house is kind of distracting.
I see. Okay.
That's where it comes into execution.
Yep.
If you're going to take a big 4x5 camera out there, it is difficult to do it well, right?
Yeah, it really is.
All right, I hear that and I agree with everyone. So not quite there.
It's really almost there, though. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
it's such a
Oh, yeah.
intriguing image and personality and story.
Yeah. It
And I
feels like,
think technically, but
oh, sorry. It feels like when, like, if you're going to take all that time to do something with large format and like go out there and kind of work with somebody, like, I don't know, like large format's expensive. If you're putting that much money into a project, I personally would just like take every single measure possible to make sure it looks kind of as flawless as you can make it. And this feels rushed in the way that like SLR images sometimes would. And so,
Well, it's possible also that this is a student working with the class and really getting used to that format, but
Mhm.
still, I mean, letting them know that this wasn't quite executed well
sure.
might be a good thing.
You want to look at them as singles again? 'Cause
Patrick,
we're kind of stalled out here.
as one point of clarification, you were talking a lot about like when as we kind of made these comments and things that like we're talking to students, like is it all students who are entering this contest or is it everybody?
No, it's a combination of students, but mostly professionals.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yep. Good question.
I'm not loving the turban guy. I don't know if that's really what I would call him, but I don't know how, the guy with the white beard.
Taliban leader. Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
the color is off or something that's not really. It's too stale, I think.
It's a guy
Although
looking
now
at the
that I'm
camera.
looking at it, it looks like he's moving into my living room. He's like coming back. So I'm frightened a little bit.
All
Sorry.
right, well, we scared Jan, so he's gone.
Good.
All right, we're down to 10, I guess. Yeah, 10
I don't know.
pictures.
Can you pull up the photo of the lady with the person with like the clothing line?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this one.
I don't really, I'm not sure about that either. And if we're talking about, we're comparing with the other ones, I don't think it's as strong as the other ones we have.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would agree.
Okay, good. Okay.
Can we look at the photo's second row right below the one you got your mouse on, that one? I think it's a powerful portrait for a lot of reasons, but I think in terms of like thinking about all the kind of technical and emotional criteria that we would evaluate another picture on, I feel like it kind of falls short. Like I'm not really connecting with his face all of that much. It feels like this one is more about shock value than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the shadow on his face, as we're talking about, like
Over
use
here.
of light and what we're doing, that shadow really does nothing for me to try to connect with him further.
And it's
Okay.
got my number one pet peeve of chopping the fingers off at the bottom.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's just mine.
Especially since it's like that's part of the body is a part of that portrait.
Yeah.
I would also go back to I think the other one is that from Ethiopia as well? Another person showing their injuries. Yeah.
Yeah, Sudan. Yeah.
Again, I'm not sure about, I just feel like this is again a thing that's recycled over and over, and I think it is important journalistically, but again, I'm not really connecting to this person. I feel like this is a very clinical,
Mhm.
like it's like proof of something, but where's this person's humanity?
Right. It sort of feels like, let's stand this person up against a wall and have them turn to the
Yeah.
left, right?
I like what you said about humanity there, Leah, quite a
Mm.
bit. And I think ultimately, as we're looking at these other portraits and what we're realizing about what we're feeling, I think quite a bit the idea that we read in that context of the category being the actual personality and the character of who we're seeing and getting to know them. You know, if all I know about this person is his scars, what have I learned other than that?
That's a great point, yeah.
When I first saw this photo too, you know, I tried to gather as much information, try to figure out like what the point was, and the last thing I noticed was the scars. So
Oh, okay.
I think I got buried.
Mhm.
So we're looking for a first, second, third, and an honorable mention, and the honorable mention is actually optional. You don't have to award it, but it's there if you want it.
I mean, truly based off of what we've seen and discussed, I really still think that second row, second picture is got everything that you hope for. The
I
bottom
fully
row,
agree.
No, the bottom, yeah.
Oh,
the
sorry.
gentleman at his own dining
This guy.
table.
Yep.
Yes, I really think this has everything that you would ever hope for in what we're talking about, and it's seen, and and his expression, in the tonality, and there's no distraction here, and my eye dances. I truly find myself enamored and wanting to know more about his story, and then in reading his caption, I am enthralled to know that they took the time to really put the journalism behind photojournalism to the next step. So that's my
Mhm.
first place.
Go, son.
It's trying, it's so subtle, and they're not hitting us over the head with anything, but if you, like you said, your eye dances and you're looking at the clock and the pictures and the ribbons, and you could sit, sit with this photo forever, but you still, is a portrait, is really getting to that's what we consider a real portrait, is really just giving so much information about this one person, but also about his life, what's happening right now.
Mhm.
It's really beautiful.
Do you want to award this something?
I think
I would award it first.
we're all leaning towards first place.
I would vote first for that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would too.
I'm fine with that, absolutely.
Okay, that's 4 people. That was good. All right, we have a first. So we have a second, third, and a possible HM.
I'm liking the woman with the flowers, but I'd love to see the woman and the butcher.
Yeah, can we see the butcher one again? I think it's a butcher, right?
She's a butcher,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
I also love this photo for several reasons. I love I feel like I'm getting, at least from me, I feel like I get a sense of pride from her, a sense of place. And to be honest, I wish we would see more photos like this out of Haiti.
Yeah.
Really great point.
It feels like it's not as like intricately detailed as the picture we just awarded first, but it has a lot of the same merits in that you get context, you get texture, you get some of the things that comprise her life besides just her facial expression or her body language. There's more there, and I think that's what has comprised like the real winning stuff today.
Yeah, I mean, I really
Yeah.
enjoy the layers, and I mean, you feel like you could fall into that photo, and you would feel like you would be there, right? And you want to know what's going on and the energy that's happening. Yeah, I love that one.
How much do you love it?
I would give it second, personally.
I would vote for second as
That's
well.
2,
Same.
3. Okay. I think that was pretty easy.
So
Okay, so What's third?
I love The Funeral Singer. I love it for all the reasons I said. I think since the category is portrait and personality, like this leans heavy on the personality. Um, and I think the environment really, the environment juxtaposed against that makes it pop all that much more.
I'm inclined to agree with that.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, if you compare it with the couple standing in the window, I think it just has a lot more personality. I think I've seen a lot of the similar image of the people
Yeah.
in the window. I think it's done really well, but I think it seems a little derivative. And I've never seen this before, and it's
Yeah.
I had
Is this-
my coaches at Eddie Adams used to call that technique the Eddie Adams special because everyone does it.
uh-huh. Well, it's
Is
that
this
feeling.
third place?
Yeah, I am.
Mhm.
That's fine.
Same.
Yeah, I vote for that.
Okay. And now we have honorable mention, should you choose to do it. You don't have to, but you can if you want to.
Just for conversation wise here, and since it's been recorded and students and other professionals are seeing the first one, I'm kind of disappointed that one's in because Cam, I don't know if you remember from
Yeah.
earlier in the day, there was a much stronger portrait that led this story where the person was naked and getting ready, and that felt to me like the perfect portrait, and so they went with this one, and it really, you know,
Yeah.
kind of,
Bummed out.
yeah, it just kind of, they cut their legs out of a really good place in here, because I think that image would have really held up here.
Yeah, I mean, this photographer has, I think done pretty well so far in this contest, at least in this day of judging. And Julia's right. This was part of a 12 picture edit, and there are not one, but I think 3 or 4, I think, stronger portraits that would have catapulted them into a placement.
Mhm.
So.
Very good. Do you want to
I'm-
order an honorable mention to anything? You don't have to.
What if
You can.
I'd throw in the woman with the gun as an honorable
would too.
mention?
I would too.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Very good. Let's see here. I think that's. Let's see, I just have to.
Well, yeah, I have to
clean
say
this up.
thank you for bringing back in that Haiti picture.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I just
Definitely.
I needed to spend more time with
unfortunately
it to see that.
we need more imagery like that out of Haiti, you know.
Absolutely.
Haiti
No, I
Haiti has
think I needed.
news that's important, but it also has so much personality and so much more going on.
I think I just needed maybe like a few more seconds to sit with the image to actually see
Mhm.
more into it, and I appreciate you pulling that back in. So
You guys have any comments about the category overall? Okay.
I think a lot of I could just say I think a lot of people get lost in the idea of a portrait having to be a posed situation, and I think you see in 2 of our top photos here that it really are just moments in life and really descriptive, purposeful pictures that a scene can lend to tell so much of someone's story right alongside the person. I do think my favorite portraiture is documentary without any posing, personally, and I do think there's a lot to be said about seeing and feeling alongside a person as you're documenting them. So Bravo to the four in front of us, absolutely. And
Yep.
yeah, I'll leave it at that.
I want to add that when you think portraits, a lot of people, including myself, think that you have to bring in all these lights and do an elaborate lighting situation. But all of these are natural lighting that's done perfectly. You know, and unfortunately for the honorable mention, the lighting didn't quite work. But these are situations that you created without the, you know, getting too fancy and too gimmicky with your lights.
Mhm. I think the only thing I would add, obviously all of these comments so far have been profound at a minimum. But I think something that kind of brings all the winners here together and is that they all preserve the folks' photographs' dignity. And I think that's a really
Yes.
big deal. I feel like how many times
Absolutely.
have we like looked at, you know, conference or contest results and been totally disappointed of just how much suffering and how extractive the photos wind up being. And I feel like all four of these are of, you know, if not tough circumstances, you know, tough places to live, you know, tough life experiences to go through, but everyone in these still feels like dignified. Their humanity is still there. And that's really, really key when you're trying to get to the crux of who somebody is in a photograph. And so all four of these folks did a really good job of it. Even if the technical piece, you know, wasn't totally flawless, like whoever did the large format still did a really good job of that. And that's still super commendable.
I
I
think
think
you're right.
that's a really good point. Sorry.
It feels like taking that extra amount of time to get to know these people instead of, you know, I think a lot of times maybe people on assignment or whatever don't have the time and they have to go grab a quick portrait. And so they put somebody against a wall or in a window or something and take that portrait. But all of these seem like they spent some time, at least the number 1, 2, and 3 places. They spent some time and they actually told the story with the portrait instead of just shot a portrait. So I think it's really elevating portrait taking or portrait making.
Yeah, and I think too, like, I definitely saw some tropes in there in the, you know, what the, you know, the edits we were looking through, things that I just see recycled over and over again in photojournalism. And, you know, sometimes there's things that are like we were talking about in certain places that do need to be documented and need to be seen by the world in some way. But I think we just need to be conscious of that and what, you know, are we recycling things? Are we learning? And I think just what we're saying here is that all of these photos are telling us something about the people in them. And they want, for me at least, I want to know more. And it's not, and I don't want to know more because, you know, because it's like shocking to me or whatever, you know. And I think that you can have difficult, like the number one, you know, that's a really sad situation, but you can do that in a way, like you said. I think I'm just hammering the same point about dignity, but I just hope that especially students will really take away from that, because I hope that that's where we can keep moving our industry in that direction.
If there's time, there's a quote from a Dawood Bey book that I love that I feel like is pertinent here. It's you don't have to live a subject's life to make something meaningful. You have to know enough to show up and see as deeply as and clearly as you can once you're there. You also have to be clear about why you're there. Why are you in this community? How does your subjective viewpoint connect with the actual subject? What is it you want to say about them? What is it that they might want to say about themselves? And how can you bring those two things together some way through your picture making? And I feel like all these people did a really good job of balancing those two things.